Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into some really interesting gardening notes we saw, shared by a listener online.
Oh, yeah. What's the subject?
It's this curious experiment, planting Torenia Fournieri seedlings right next to standard chili seedlings.
Torenia and Chilli, huh? That's
Ah,
not a pairing you hear about often.
exactly. So the idea is to explore, can these two very different plants actually get along? And what does that tell us about, like, plant compatibility in general?
Right. And it sounds like it started from just curiosity. Like the gardener wondering, what if?
Pretty much. They were looking into companion planting specifically for these two.
And I guess they didn't find much direct advice.
Correct. The notes say they couldn't find anything saying, don't plant Torenia with chilies. No specific warnings.
Okay, but lack of a negative doesn't automatically mean it's a positive, right?
Mm.
Especially with plants.
My thoughts exactly. Just because they don't actively harm each other doesn't mean they'll both thrive.
hmm That's where their basic needs come in. Compatibility isn't just about avoiding fights. It's about sharing the resources, the environment.
And the gardener picked up on that straight away. The notes really highlight how different they are.
Yeah. How so?
Well, Torenia, it prefers partial shade, maybe even full shade in hot afternoons,
Mm.
and it likes its soil consistently moist.
Okay.
But chilies, totally different. They need like 6 hours plus of direct sun. They love the heat, warmer soil.
Wow, okay. Yeah, that's a pretty stark contrast. Shade versus sun, moist versus maybe a bit drier and warmer.
Right. So the big question the experiment poses is, how do you make one spot work for both?
Especially on a balcony, which the notes mentioned. That's a contained environment.
Exactly. So this little balcony setup becomes a mini lab for testing this balance.
It's interesting too because there are well-known friends for chilies.
Oh, yeah, the notes mention those,
Yeah.
like basil, oregano.
Marigolds are classic. Carrots sometimes too.
Right. And basil often gets mentioned for pest control with chilies, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Repels certain insects.
Did the gardener mention trying any of those?
They actually noted they might add basil later on. Perhaps, to give the chilies a known buddy, even with the Torenia there.
Makes sense. Hedging bets a bit, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Or just layering the companion planting idea?
Yeah, I think so. It shows the sort of adaptive approach gardeners often take. You try something, see what happens, adjust.
Absolutely. So for you, what's the main takeaway here from this specific experiment?
Well, I think it really shows that while the guides are great starting points, sometimes you just have to see for yourself in your conditions.
Couldn't agree more. It's not just about avoiding negative interactions. It's about whether the environment can truly support both plants' needs.
Those differing needs, sun, water, shade, that can be the real hurdle, even if they don't actively poison each other or compete aggressively for nutrients in the same way.
Precisely. Observation is key. Watching how your plants react in your specific spot, that gives you insights you won't always find in a book.
Mm-hmm.
And even if this pairing doesn't work out brilliantly, if, say, the Torenia struggles in the sun or the Chilean stays too wet.
That's still valuable information, right? It tells you more about their limits and preferences.
Exactly. It feeds back into that whole process of learning and adapting your gardening.
It's a constant cycle.
So, yeah, we've got the shade-loving, moisture-liking Torenia next to the sunbathing, heat-loving Chilean on a balcony.
The outcome's definitely up in the air.
But the process, the question itself, is pretty insightful, thinking about plant partnerships and respecting those individual requirements.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you think, doesn't it? Stepping back a bit. How often do we assume things won't work together just because they seem, on the surface, very different?
Good point.
When maybe the real question is about their fundamental needs. Can those needs, however different, be met within the same system, or perhaps even complement each other in unexpected ways?
So looking beyond just the obvious pairings
Mm-hmm.
in gardening, maybe in other parts of life too.
Why not? It's a prompt to consider, what does successful coexistence really require? It might be more complex than just surface level similarities, something to think about.